Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I will be reacting to the comment made by Chad Johnson saying that he thinks Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel will be a special duo in 2021 with Ryan Fitzpatrick at quarterback. So we'll talk about that in today's video and if I think it's true or not, and also we'll talk about the news about Brandon Scherff and what his future is with the Washington football team. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content. Let's get to 6,000 subscribers soon. So let's get right into the video. Okay, so let me read the tweet right here from Chad Johnson, who is a huge Terry McLaurin fan. So he said this: remember this tweet. Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel are going to go crazy with Ryan Fitzpatrick at the helm, an aggressive QB that takes chances and will improvise at the line of scrimmage. These two have the skill set that make his job easier. I guarantee their production is bananas. So I definitely agree with Chad Johnson. I think Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel will have huge years, partly because of Ryan Fitzpatrick, but also partly because of each other. I think especially Curtis Samuel will help out Terry McLaurin. And you look at, Terry McLaurin's production. 2019, played in 14 games. His rookie year, 58 catches for 919 yards and 7 touchdowns. And then in his second year, played in 15 games, had 87 catches for 1,118 yards and 4 touchdowns. But you have to keep in mind, he missed one game, but he was playing injured for probably about 5 games of the season. He was playing injured with that ankle injury. He really had like 2 different ankle injuries, and it really limited him. He started off the season super strong and still was playing solid with his ankle injury, but not up to the level that we saw in the first half of the season. But he was doing this, guys, his whole career really, with 7 different quarterbacks, if you include Logan Thomas, who did throw a pass to him in that Cowboys game. But I mean, Haskins, Colt McCoy, Case Keenum, Kyle Allen, Alex Smith, and then Taylor Heineke in the playoff game. I mean, he just hasn't had great quarterback play. I mean, Heineke only played 1 game, so you can't even really count that. But if you go, Kyle Allen, Alex Smith, all those guys, Terry McLaurin hasn't had a even serviceable quarterback. So I think Ryan Fitzpatrick will help out Terry McLaurin a lot. And also I think Curtis Samuel will also help Terry McLaurin's production go up, because if you look at 2019 and 2020, there haven't been many great receivers playing alongside Terry McLaurin. I mean, probably the best one is Cam Sims. Maybe you could say Steven Sims in 2019, but they're just haven't been great receivers playing next to him. And now he's going to have Curtis Samuel and even De'Ami Brown, Cam Sims in another year. Let's see how he gets better, but he's going to have much better receiver play around him, especially with Curtis Samuel. And let's talk about Curtis Samuel a little bit now. I think this is a great signing by the Washington football team, because they really, like I said, needed help at the wide receiver position, and they started off by signing Curtis Samuel in free agency. And one thing I absolutely love about Curtis Samuel is how his production gets better every single year from 2017 to 2020. Started out his rookie year 115 yards, then went to 500 yards in his second year, 627 yards in his third, and then 851 yards this past season. And his rushing yards went up every single year, although he had way more rushing attempts in 2020, but still, you like to see the production continue to go up and up and up, and I think that's going to happen again this year, especially with Ryan Fitzpatrick at quarterback, better quarterback, at least in my opinion, than Teddy Bridgewater, at least for last season. And I think that's going to help out Curtis Samuel a lot. He's also going to be playing in a familiar system, where he played in Carolina in 2019. And you look at, something that Curtis Samuel is very good at in 2020 on deep targets, so 20-plus yard pass attempts. He had a 99.9 receiving grade, which was tied first in the NFL with a couple other players. So he's a great deep threat. And you want to know something? You look at Ryan Fitzpatrick last season. he had a 90.4 deep passing grade, which is really, really good. I'm not sure where that ranks in the NFL, but probably top 7. And the year before, he had like an 81 or something deep passing grade. So he's a good deep passer, and I think that's a good pairing, him and Curtis Samuel, which is going to help his production even go up even more. And I think he's going to have his first season this year of over 1,000 yards receiving. I don't think he's going to have a lot of production in the run game, maybe 75 to 100 yards, nothing major. Just because if you look at what he did in Carolina under Scott Turner, Norv Turner, and when Ron Rivera was there, it was 64, 84, and 130 yards. So maybe he gets in between 80 to 120 yards. We will see, because they do have Gibson, they do have McKissick, and others that are threats out of the backfield. But I do think he will be somewhat involved in the run game. But because he was a former running back, but I cannot wait to see what he does. I think Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel are a perfect match. Obviously, they played college football together at Ohio State, but I think their skill sets match up together really, really well, and I think they're going to open things up for each other. Terry's going to have the best receiver he's played with in the NFL go alongside him, and even De'Ami Brown is going to help out, Adam Humphries. These guys are all going to open things up for each other, and Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to help them out too, or at least help out their production, because he's not afraid to throw it, and he's going to get them a lot of opportunities. So look out, for Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel to have, combined over 2,200 yards, at least in my opinion, if they do stay healthy, because, Terry McLaurin made a 200-yard jump from rookie year to second year. I think he's going to make, a similar jump in his third year, over 1,200 yards in my opinion, if he stays healthy. And Curtis Samuel, I think, will have over 1,000 yards in his first year in Washington as well. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this pairing and how you think they will gel in their first year together, at least in Washington. Now, real quickly, we'll talk about the Brandon Scherff news. So this is to be expected, but the Washington football team and all-pro guard Brandon Scherff are not expected to reach a long-term deal by Thursday's deadline, which is today. One of Washington football team's most respected player, Scherff will play on the $18 million franchise tag, his second in a row, and then he will hit free agency. So, this was, like I said, to be expected. No one thought a deal was going to get done, just because after they franchise tagged him, it's $18 million. Unless Brandon Scherff gets something, close to that, like $16 or $17 million per year, he's not going to want to risk losing out on that $18 million guaranteed before he goes into free agency. And, Brandon Scherff is a great player. Do not get me wrong at all. But I personally would not want to, pay a guard anything more than $16 million a year unless it's the guy's name, Quentin Nelson. Just because, especially with Brandon Scherff, he has not been very durable at all. He's hurt every single year. And especially at the guard position, you do not want to be paying someone that is not very, healthy all the time, that much money. And, you have some potential replacements. You have Eric Flowers for another year. You have Wes Schweitzer under contract. And you do have Sadiq Charles, who is a potential guard. So you can play him at left guard and maybe move Wes Schweitzer to right guard. Who knows though? Maybe they can still keep him. Maybe they work out a deal next year in free agency. But I do think it is doubtful. So that's why it is very important that we do develop Sadiq Charles. It could be at tackle, but definitely also at guard if he can, because we will likely need a Brandon Scherff replacement after this year. So also let me know down below in the comments below what you guys think about Brandon Scherff. Do you want him back, after free agency? And, who do you think his potential replacement will be? So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and turn on that post notification bell so you never miss a video. Peace.